Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah, today we are going to have the proposal seminar, and then the contender here is Fadla Yazidah Maulana. And what is it, the title of your proposal, Fadla?
The title is Improving Student Speaking Skill by using heuristic strategy.
Okay, and then the advisor is Ms. Zaitun, yeah? Your advisor is Ms. Zaitun. And how that we are going to do this proposal seminar, we are going to start the proposal seminar. I'm going to give you a chance to give the explanations about your complete proposal. Yeah, 10 minutes, I guess, 10 minutes maximum. And then after that one, we're going to have the Q&A. I'm going to ask you several kind of the questions related to your proposal. And then after that one, we are going to end the session for the proposal seminar. And then, first of all, let's open our proposal seminar of the day here by reciting basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, and then you may start sharing the screen. Best of luck, Fadla Yazidah Maulana. And hopefully you can give a good, clear, and specific kind of explanations based on your complete proposal. Come on, time is yours, please, Fadla.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Honorable Mr. Dr. Muhamad Sofian Hadi M.Pd as the examiner. Today I'm going to deliver my proposal thesis by the title Improving Student Speaking Skill by Using Heuristic Strategy. First is introduction, the background of the study. English is international language that is used as a means of communication throughout the world. The four fundamental English skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, must be acquired. To speak English well, it is necessary to master all those skills because they are interconnected. English is starting to develop more than before. Many schools are starting to use English as a means of communication while studying. But unfortunately, there are still many students who do not master English, which makes it difficult for them to understand the lesson delivered in English. English learners need to get used to actively practicing in English. What hinders the spirit of practicing English is the fear of starting something new. Some factors that influence the development of students in speaking are including lack of motivation, the fear of being wrong when pronouncing, unsupportive environment, lack and confidence, and etc. In English, in learning English, speaking is very important to understand, but most students only learn English in theory, and many of them cannot use English yet orally. Therefore, English teachers are required to be creative in using strategy when teaching. The strategy used must be accordance with their needs. Based on the background of the study, several problems are found to be identified as follows. 1. Students have not mastered the skills needed in learning English. 2. The students do not master English, and this become difficult for them to understand the lesson delivered in English. 3. The fear of starting something new makes students less motivated because they are afraid of making mistakes while doing it. 4. Unsupportive environment makes students not confident to speak English. And 5, inappropriate strategy selection triggers ineffectiveness in learning process. Second is literature review. First is speaking skill. Speaking is one of the four skills in English. Speaking is the bridge of communication between humans. According to Parapalis Srinivas Rao 2019, the English language has become the most widely used language in the world and is widely spoken. As communication tool throughout the world, English needs to be taught in school. Also, many institutions provide English learning courses outside of school hours to further train student abilities. Next is learning speaking. In learning speaking generally, the main focus is on the student willingness to speak. The grammar is not usually give much attention, but that doesn't mean it can be ignored. Heini Marja Pakula 2019 described that lack of such quality in text and exercises in teaching material, as well as in spoken grammar, is one issue with teaching spoken grammar aspect. Grammar makes the speaking partner understand what's being spoken, so at least the student master the basic grammar to make conversation clear. Next is speaking for the teenagers. This research will be conducted on 8th grade junior high school students who are in their teens. Adolescence is the time when children have a curiosity to explore the world. There are many things they want to do, and at their age, they usually talk more and want to be heard. Seda Arda and Veda Doran 2017 in their research said that students in junior high school grades gave several explanations for why they had bad opinions toward English language learner, including that it's pointless, that it involved dual exercises, that it was utilized excessively as a course material, that it was overly grammar focused, and others. Next is heuristic strategy. Okechukwu Sunday Abonyi and Virginia Oguchukwu 2014 explained that heuristic method is particularly used to rapidly come to a solution that is hoped to be close to the best possible answer or optimal solution. The heuristic can be a strategy for teaching students for an autonomous discovery. Thus, the teacher in this way offers no assistance or direction. With this strategy, the teacher poses the question to the class and then stand aside while they work out the solution. And last is heuristic in English learning. Heuristic can be used in learning English as a foreign language. In this case, students will be trained to be able to solve their problem in learning foreign language. For Katovna 2019 said, the heuristic method successfully links each other's subjects on creative self-realization with their current communal activity in the teaching process. The use of heuristic strategy in teaching foreign language can also contribute to the development of motivation, taking into account differences in the level of language proficiency, motivates thinking and memory of students. Vertical framework. There are three circumstances in this research. There are before the experiment, and after the experiment. Before the experiment, the teacher gives the pretest to understand the state of student before applying heuristic strategy. And then when experiment, the teacher applying heuristic strategy in English learning to improve student speaking skill, while students solve their problem based on the result of the first test to improve their skill. And after the experiment, the students are expected to have an improvement in their speaking skill as a section of heuristic strategy application. Third, method and procedures. Time and place. This research will be carried on to grade 8 student of SMP Global in Sunny School Bogor. It is planned to be held on academic year 2023-2024. The researcher plans to conduct the research for about 1 month for 6 to 8 meetings. The method of study. The This research will apply quantitative method with pre-experimental design. Is it a design that includes only one group or class that is given pre and post test for more accurate results? This one group pre-test and post-test design will be carried out on one group of students without control or comparison group. Operation definition of variable. Heuristic strategy is independent variable that affects the dependent variable. It refers to a strategy that is used by the researcher in order to improve student speaking skill. Student speaking skill is the dependent variable. Is it the result of the experiment of using heuristic strategy? And speaking skill in this research is operationally defined as students' ability in using English orally. Population and sample. The population in this study is all the students of grade 8 as of grade 8 of SMP Global Insani School Bogor. There are 4 classes on grade 8. As follows: 8-1, 8-1, 8-2, 8-3, and 8-4. With each class consists of 32 around 32 students, and the total of the student is 128. And the sample. The sample of this research will be one class out of those 4. In taking the sample from the population, the researcher will use cluster random sampling. The cluster in this study are the classes of grade 8, and the selection of the cluster to be used as experiment is randomly selected by the researcher. Techniques of collecting the data. This research will be conducted 3 procedures. Those are pre-test, experiment, and post-test. For the pre-test, this test will be carried out at the beginning of research before the experiment. For the post-test, students will come forward one by one and talking about weekend plans taken from their textbook topics in chapter 2, making plans, with the duration 1 minute 30 seconds. And for the experiment of this research is the application of heuristic strategy in learning English to improve students' speaking skill. After the student did pre-test, they will be evaluated to find out their deficiencies or what they should improve in their skill. In the heuristic strategy, students must solve their problem by their own. So, which means after they know the evaluation from the pretest, they will solve the problem by themselves with the help of suggestion for solving it at the beginning. And the post-test is after the implementing of heuristic strategy. The purpose of this test is to find out the improvement of students after implementing heuristic in their learning. The post-test will be similarly with the pre-test. For the post-test, they will come forward one by one and talk about vacation plans with the same duration, 1 minute 30 seconds. And last is technique of analyzing the data. The assessment of student speaking performance will be carried out based on the scoring rubric for speaking with 5 aspects in it. There are vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, fluency, and comprehension. After the pre-test and post-test, the score of students will be analyzed. The data will be analyzed by using the t-test. The t-test will be used to see the comparison of student score average before and after the experiment. The calculation will be done through statistical package for the social science 23 versions as the data processing and analyzing tool for accurate results. I think that's all from me, sir. Thank you for your attention. I'm sorry for all my mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Fadla, Yazidah, Maulana, for the explanations. Now let's try to discuss more about your proposal. Let's go to the first slide, please. Go back to the first slide. Okay, first slide. Okay, this one, proposal thesis, and then your title here is improving student speaking skill by using heuristic strategy. Yeah, to be honest, when you chose improving here, do you have some kind of preference? Why did you have to use this kind of word? Yeah. Why did you choose using improving? Why did you using, what is it here, speaking skill, and then also last one, heuristic strategy? Fadla.
Oh, I choose improving students because as my experience, the students I not I have faced some students who good in writing, but they are not really good in speaking. So I think that they need to improve the speaking skill too, because if they can do they can do writing very well, so they can also do speaking very well. So the speaking skill, that because most of students is still afraid or not really give attention to the speaking. They're only most of them only focus on the writing, reading. And I using heuristic strategy is to train critical thinking, their critical thinking. So they need to figure it out what they need, what their problem. So they're so we no, as a teacher not always feed them, but they also can feed can eat by themselves, like the other word.
Okay, thank you. There are many kind of reasoning that leads you to choose this kind of title. And then the next questions, heuristic strategy. Why this kind of strategy here relevant with speaking skill for the students? Fadla.
Because heuristic, base of the meaning of heuristic, try to solve the problem by themselves. For the speaking, most the effective the effectiveness uh, strategy is they training by themselves. So they need to figure out the problem by themselves, and training by themselves is kind of similar thing. They try to give the improvement for themselves.
Okay, when we try to compare between heuristic strategy and then with some kind of the problem-based learning, PBL kind of learning model. So what will be the difference between this one, heuristic strategy, and then we have some popular kind of learning model called problem-based learning? Come on, Fadla.
The different heuristic and sorry, the
Yeah, with problem-based learning.
problem-based learning.
Yeah, since you're mentioning heuristic strategy here, the goal of this kind of the strategy, you're going to provide the problems, and then the student, they're going to find out the solutions, right? Yeah. Okay, come on.
The difference is in heuristic, no the teacher cannot offer assistance or direction, really, not at all. So the teacher only can give suggestion of how to solving the problem at the beginning, but when the student start to solving the problem, the teacher need to stand aside the class, so let the student work by themselves. So yeah, the teacher really do not give any help.
Okay, interesting, because it seems like this kind of strategy here, you're going to give a large part for these students for them to solve the problem, right? And the problem here, it should be about speaking skill, right? So can you give what kind of the example of the students' problem in speaking skill and then how that they're going to solve the problems, please, through this heuristic strategy? Fadla.
Okay. So the problem will we will find out the problem based on the scoring rubric. There's vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, fluency, and comprehension. For the example, for the pronunciation, in junior high school today, they are allowed to bring phone to the class, and some lesson use the phone in the class. So if there problem in pronunciation, they can listen dictionary from the dictionary in their phone. So how to speak it well, how to speak it correctly. That the suggestion will be given in the beginning, so they will figure it out in when they start.
Okay, so it means like you're the one who's gonna provide the problems for these students, and then after that one, you're going to give them also several kind of alternative solutions based on the problems.
Yes.
Okay, but instead of doing that one, previously you're mentioning this kind of strategy, you're going to give them a chance to solve their problems without any guidance or any instructions. Yeah, for these students. Yeah, after you already, what is it? For example, giving the overview of the lesson, and then you're going to what is it? You're going to give them a chance to solve the problem by themselves. How it will be possible for the students to solve their problems? Come on.
Uh, okay. From the evaluation, from the pretest, we can see the every each student problems. So we cannot give interaction or direction their in the middle of when they're solving the problem, but it is the suggestion in the beginning. So when I give the suggestion how to fix your pronunciation, how to improve, how to add your vocabulary, how to use how to use grammar in speaking, there are they not begin to solve their problem. So they're just listening, just listen. So after that, they try to solve the problem. We cannot give any instruction in the middle, but in the beginning, but in the middle we cannot.
Okay, so since this one is a quantitative kind of research, right? Okay, what kind of the task of a pre-task of a post-task that you're going to deliver for them? Since it is a speaking kind of skill for the students. Come on.
Okay, the pretest is they will talk. They will talk in front of the class one by one.
Wait a
With
second, a random talk?
No, not the random talk. There's the topic. I take from I taken from their textbook. Uh, in the chapter 2, there's the title making plans. So the pre-test is they talk about weekend plans, what they want to do at weekend, with the duration 1 minute 30 seconds. And for the post-test, it is similar with pre-test, but this a little different. When the pre-test they talk about weekend plans, so for the post-test we make it bigger, so it's vacation plan. So for the school vacation, what they want to do. Like this. The duration is
Okay.
10.
Okay, and then you're going to compare between P and then post-test then. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, come on. Okay, for the background of this study, I want you to please come with the main, what is it, main factor that leads you to create or to conduct this research, please. What is it? The important one. Why you really need to conduct this research? Come on.
Okay. The main reason for the main reason for the background study is there the student is afraid to starting something new, which is afraid to begin to speak. So this strategy will encourage them to speak. This study will give them motivate. Oh, however, I need to speak. However, you need to improve your speaking. So the main reason is they are afraid. The fear, their fears. They need to fight their fear.
Okay, fighting for their peer in talking. Yeah, that was the main reason why did you conduct this research. And then what I really need you to do here, not only come with some kind of assumptions. Yeah, you're mentioning they're scared, they're afraid of talking using English. You're gonna come with several kind of data. Yeah, what kind of data it's showing based on your previous observations or based on your previous data talking about the condition of these students when they're going to talk using English, to do the speaking with their friends, with the teachers. Come on.
Based on the observation, sir?
Yeah, based on observation or any data that you got. So
Okay.
you can create this background of the study.
Okay. Uh, Actually, for the base of the observation, when I teach the private of, I have some student in private courses. Uh, when they do the homework, like for the writing or for the writing, they can oh miss I can this like this. Oh, but when there is some when the topic is say together or say together, like listen to your teacher and then say together, uh their voice kind of low, so they're like, okay, say together, hello, how are you, like hello, how are you? So they're no, come on, you can do it in writing. So up your volume, up your voice to speak it, but they're still, miss, I'm shy, I don't know how to say it, if or am I say it right, like that. Okay, based on the
Okay, and then for that one, so the result of your observations for the investigations, not on a certain kind of school that where that you're going to conduct this research. Fadla?
no, it's the formal, the school, the not the courses, the school.
Okay. Okay, and then when we try to make an introductions and then also background of this study, we are going to provide some numerical data also, not only a descriptions, yeah, but the reasons. What about the numerical data that you're going to provide for the first chapter of your thesis proposal, Fadla?
I didn't put the numerical data in the introduction. I just use the description based on the observation, because actually this this problem also not only in to Indonesian student. Uh, when I do my internship in international school, there are some students also afraid to speak. When they so I face similar, problem. So I didn't put any number, any numeric data. I just put the description.
Okay, maybe to support all of your reasoning, to support all of your statement, you're gonna come not only with the description, yeah, not only making a description of the result of the observation, the result of your internships. Maybe you can come also with the percentage. How many of these students from junior high school or senior high school? And then for your research, it will be for junior or it will be for senior?
It's for junior high school.
Okay, you can come with the numerical data. For example, 50% of students in junior high school, they feel it will be difficult to speak fluently, for example. You can put 90%, you can put 80%, or 50% of the students feel difficult when they're going to pronounce difficult words. Yeah, that should be a numerical data that you can show us, yeah, when we try to read your background of the study. Okay, so we have a valid data representing your reasoning why that you really need to conduct this research. Okay, next one, please. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, there we go. For the literature review, you're mentioning several kind of things, starting with speaking skill, learning speaking, speaking for teenagers, heuristic strategy, and then heuristic in English learning. My questions, you are mentioning all of this literature review, all of this literature here to support the research, right? And then when you're going to conduct this research for junior high school students, maybe you can put not only speaking for teenagers because it's too common. It's a general term. Yeah. So which teenagers that you're going to aim for this research? You can come with a specific one. Yeah. Maybe you can put a typical speaking skill for junior high school students or the characteristic of junior high school students. Okay, you can come with a clear one. Okay, and then my questions now, how that you are going to connect or to link all of this literature review into a clear concept that you're going to make to support your research, Fadla?
Okay. First, for speaking skill and learning speaking, it is it is like generalist learning speaking. Okay, speaking for teenager a heuristic strategy. I connected both of them with I choose the interest topic. So because the topic is chosen by the researcher, so I choose the weekend plans and the vacation plans because uh like my sister in junior high school, she's like many plans want to do. Mother, this weekend I want to go with my friend here. Mother, please, I want to go with my friend where in the weekend. So the weekend plans and the vacation plans I thought that will be relevant to them because uh there that is the topic that usually they talk with each other.
That's all?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with next slide, please. Next slide, come on. Okay, for the theoretical framework, you're mentioning before the experiments, next one experiments, and the next one after the experiments. Yeah, this will be a typical steps or pace when we conducted an experimental kind of research, right? And then for this one, how did you going to make sure here? Since if I'm not mistaken, you were mentioning you're going to conduct this research is only take 1 month, yeah, or it's gonna take several kind of meeting. So you're going to have the data to prove that there are some kind of the improvement, yeah, based on the treatment that you conduct for the students. Okay, for the theoretical framework, will you please make an elaborations how that all these steps, the pace that you're going to do for this experimental study? Come on.
Um, For the meeting is about 8 meeting. Because in this I've come to the school and asked for the period of English lesson. They say for grade 8 they have 2 meetings each week. So 1 month for 8 meeting. The first meeting is for conducting the pre-test, but in no, but for 32 students with evaluation in it, I think 1 meeting is not enough. So in case it's for pre-test is 2 meeting, for experiment is 4 or 6, and for the post test or after the experiment, it will also take time like 2 meetings. So it's about 8 meeting, maybe more. But I say for about 1 month because the school the school sometimes offers to fill the empty period, the blank period. So where sometimes we substitute a lesson when the teachers doesn't come to school, so we can use that period for the experiment.
Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. Next slide, come on. Okay, method and then procedure. Yeah, as the third chapter of your research proposal or thesis proposal. You're mentioning the method of this study. Okay, there are many kind of method of this study that we can pick, right? A pure kind of experiment, a quasi kind of experiment that we can use in our research or in our study. Why did you prefer to choose this type of method, for this study? How this kind of method suit the problem that you're going to pick for it. Come on, Fadla.
For the method is quantitative method, and for the for the specific using pre-experimental design, I choose pre-experimental design, which is just one class to do the experiments, because many because I count that maybe I will go to school like after the new academic year, after the exam. So but I'm not sure if in the new academic year I directly go to school, but maybe after some meeting I go. So if I use the conversion of the experiment for 2 classes, it will be take more time, and they will be in their mid test. So because I don't know in the new academic year how the specifically the total of students each class, because the data I mentioned before is the data this year's, but maybe I'm afraid there is some differences of the total students, so they make it. I'm afraid that's more than yesterday year, then yeah, the back year. So
Okay. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, Fadla.
This one is like
No, next slide.
nothing again.
Okay, so just three, what is it? Just 3 chapters that you got, yeah, and then from all of your explanations, it seems like you already, what is it? You already create and then brought specific detail based on your first chapter, second chapter, and then also third chapter. But because it is only your PowerPoint presentations, maybe you can send me also some of your complete research proposal, a complete thesis proposal, so we can have a look at in detail what kind of the elaborations, what kind of the data that you show, that you try to describe in your proposal thesis. Yeah, hopefully when you're going to conduct a research, yeah, especially it will be about speaking skill and then the step in improving student, and then this one here using heuristic strategy, and then specifically for the junior high school. I hope, to be honest, you're going to, what is it? You're going to switch the title, because when we try to have a look at in our library, yet there are uh, too many of your friends that already took the title and then starting with the word improving. Yeah, and then that is too common, I guess. When you start with improving, when you start with enhancing, when you start with some kind of common words that used by English department student. Maybe you can come with a different kind of title, but it has similar meaning with the title of yours that you have now. Okay, Fadla?
Okay, sir.
Okay, because to be honest, when I saw a title, yeah, a thesis title, a proposal title, including of enhancing, including of improving the effectiveness, the influence, that will be too common. That was a common kind of titles, and then it will be difficult, I guess, to attract the reader so they can have the interest to read your complete thesis, because it's too common. We can find many kind of previous research, previous study that using the similar one, improving speaking, improving a similar one. That's why if you're going to be my, what is it, my, if you're to be the one that I'm going to give the thesis defense, so it will be really difficult for me, I guess, to give you a proper kind of score. Okay, how you can come with new title that gonna attract the students or gonna attract other researcher in finding out what is it the research that he conducted. Yeah, because in this research it will be only, okay, it is improving, and the next one here is speaking, and the next one it is heuristic strategy. So what will be the new one? What will be the novelty that we can get from this research? Because it's similar, it is the same, only the repetition from the previous one. And how many of your senior already conducted the research using the title improving, using the title enhancing, using the effectiveness, the influence, and then blah blah blah. Yeah, and that's not a, what is it? That's not an innovative one, I guess. I hope you're going to be more creative, and then also try to switch. Yeah, try to make a new title, write down a new title that's gonna make everyone when they read your title. So okay, it should be a good kind of thesis. It should be a good kind of research, and then we need to read it completely. Okay, Fadla?
Okay, sir. I'll
Okay.
make it more interest.
Okay, guys, that's all for the proposal seminar of the day. Thank you very much for attending this proposal seminar. Hopefully, after this one, you're going to revise your first chapter, put several kind of data, numerical data, all the data that can support why that you really need to conduct this research. And then for the second chapter, you're going to come with a clear, and then also what is it, a complete kind of explanations. Yeah, not only, what is it, not only putting a common term like at least for teenagers, yeah, but you are going to come with specific, since your research, your study focusing on junior high, so you are going to mention junior high. And then for the last one, for the third chapter of your research proposal, I guess you have to put some, what is it, some latest data based on the school that you're going to take the research for. Yeah, because based on your explanation, you are still using the previous data, yeah, last academic year's data that you still use. Hopefully, you're going to have a new one, which one it gonna really match with your study or with your research. Okay, Fadla?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I guess that's all for the proposal seminar of today. And then let's close our proposal seminar here by reciting Hamdalah together.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Thank you very much. And then the last, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Fadla.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, permission to leave. Yeah.
Um, sir,